So, who do we got going where in next week's NFL draft? Could there be some major shakeups, some major trades that could surprise everybody? And what will the legacy, well, how will we view OJ Simpson's legacy? Well, we're going to try to find the answers to those questions and many more as we get ready and get you ready for the upcoming NFL draft. We're just less than a week away. We're going to get you all ready as we get you ready for this edition of Fantasy Football Fever, and it starts right now. Hey, everybody. It's time for another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Friday night, April 19th, 2024. Wherever you're watching, however you're watching, and whenever you're watching, thanks for joining us for this other off-season edition. It's a pretty big one, though, because as you can tell by the title of the show, it's our 2024 NFL Draft Preview. And of course, me and the boys are here to get you through it. My name is Tim McClellan. Of course, the guy over here is John Flynn, the host of Hooked on Sports. And of course, this guy down here is our lead commissioner, John Natale. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
And doing well.
I'm doing good. It's draft day, and for all the pundits who slice and dice all these draft rumors and all these crazy draft takes, but for those people, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Mm-hmm. I might have to watch the draft day movie pretty soon to get pumped up.
Yeah, and I mean this is where championships begin. And how championship teams are built, and everything goes to the draft.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It is time to look into the future as we get ready to take a look at tomorrow's NFL stars today. We got a little bit to talk about there as we welcome our friend Daniel Barry, who's in our audience right now. Daniel, good to see you again. Always great that you could join us for our show. And to all our viewers out there who's watching us live, thank you so much for supporting our show. Tell your friends about us. Spread the word. We want to make this bigger for all of you. And we really need your support because of one thing that we are going to discuss right at the end of today's show. So y'all stay tuned for that because I've got an announcement to make. Anyway, before we do that,
We do, and
yes.
So yeah, and I was saying we definitely need the power of the people for this.
Oh yes. Power of the people. That means you, and you, and you, and you back there up in the balcony. Yeah, you. And all of you out there. So y'all stick around. So it is draft preview time. But of course, before we talk about that, of course, as always, we have to get to some of the big headlines in the NFL. And we call it our hot topics. A couple of things happened since we last convened for this show. One of the big topics, of course, is Buffalo Bills wide receiver Stephon Diggs. It looks like he went ahead and took his younger brother Trayvon's advice and he got the heck out of Buffalo. But he is not joining his brother in Dallas. Actually, he has gone to the Houston Texans. And when I first heard about this, I was like, wow, there is another big weapon that CJ Stroud could utilize right here. I mean, this could probably really put Houston in a position to dominate the AFC South Division. Yeah, Flynn, tell us about your thoughts on that.
So, and I mean, first of all, it's important for us to because April 3rd is when the trade was made. So we think this in a long time, but
Uh-oh, I think Flynn has some technical problems.
my bad connect.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah, hear you a little bit.
Get it. Yeah, because my connection's not great right now, which is not which is not ideal.
Well, that's the wonders of technology nowadays. Sometimes you can never be too sure. So, let us know what you guys think about Diggs going to the Texans. I mean, let us know your opinions on that. Uh, Either of you in the audience watching, put in the chat or down in the comment section below. Let us know what you think about Diggs going down to H-Town. Well, I guess while we try to get Flynn reconnected here in some good way, Natalie, your thoughts?
Yeah, I love the move for them. Yeah, they really improved this past season, and now they're only going to get even better. I mean, I could probably safely say they're probably a top 3 team right now in the whole AFC. I think really the only 2 teams they might have to worry about is the Chiefs and possibly the Ravens. If somehow they can get past both of them, they could be dark horse favorites to go to the Super Bowl potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Just depends on how the Chiefs and the Ravens do. I don't really think they have to worry about anybody else in that whole division. Oh, whole conference rather.
Right.
I mean,
And of
they're
course,
obviously better than the Jets. They're better than the Patriots. They're better than the Dolphins. They're better than the Browns. Better than Jacksonville. I'm just running out a whole bunch of teams that they're better than right now. Better than the Broncos. Better than the Raiders.
I
And
say
many more.
they'll be slightly better than the Dolphins. I have to put the Dolphins number 4.
4. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll put KC, put
First, yep.
KC at 1,
Right.
Baltimore at 2, Houston 3, then Miami at 4.
Oh, okay. So you think right now the Dolphins are favorites to win their division then?
Yes, I do believe so. In fact, I think that could be my 4 picks for each division in the AFC, but
Nice.
we'll just have to see what happens between now and the end, or
Yep.
see what happens here. It looks like we may have Flynn back online with us.
Right now it's just dark. We don't see him. Let me see the.
Well, I see his face there. Of course, he's wearing his Danny Dimes jersey, I think. No. It was at our post game meeting. He showed us the back of his jersey. It was what's that guy's name? Thibodeau.
Yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Kayvon Thibodeau. That's right. So.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I mean, wow. What are we gonna do here? Y'all stay with us now. I mean, you know how technology is sometimes. It's not perfect. We're gonna try to get Flynn back up in here in some way. Well, anyway, guess the other real big thing to talk about here while we try to get Flynn back here is so maybe if you know about a little over a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
the great O.J. Simpson passed away. I think what was it, 79 years old, or I
I think
can't remember.
78, I believe. 77, something like that.
I got his he died at 76. Yeah, he passed away he passed away on the 10th of this month in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say right now, to say,
There he
oh,
is.
well, okay, Flynn is back, so we can get his commentary on the Diggs trade to the Texans.
Yeah, before the internet decided to crash on me, I was going to give the full did you give the full details of the trade? So like
Uh,
what
Oh no,
not
we didn't say who got who for it.
yeah, so the Texans got Stephon Diggs, a 2024 sixth round pick 189 in the draft next week, and a 2025 fifth round pick, while the Bills received a 2025 second round pick. So that means the Bills have two second round picks next year. So and look, I think this puts the Houston Texans squarely in the conversation to go to the Super Bowl alongside Baltimore and Kansas City in the AFC. And I briefly heard before that um that you had other teams in the conversation, but right now I think now you got to look at the Buffalo Bills in regards to the draft next week as a team that's going to be drafting a wide receiver with their first pick, and they're probably going to have to and they might even need to trade up to get the wide receiver they want, because there's going to be some teams in the back clamoring up to get a couple get the wide receiver of their choice. Now this is going to be an exceptionally deep class of wide receivers in the draft, because you could be looking at 15 wide receivers that'll be taken off the board within the first 75 to 80 picks or so. It is that loaded of a class. Now you obviously have the three at the top, with Marvin Harrison Jr. from Ohio State, who I think has Hall of Fame grade on my board. And you also think of Malik Neighbors, the stud from LSU that Jaden Daniels was able to throw to on his way to the Heisman, and then also Rome Odunze from the University of Washington and went to the college football playoff with Michael Penix Jr. So do I think this elevates where the Texans obviously, but now right now, if I was to power rank the four teams in the Bills, I think the Jets. If the season were to start tomorrow, I would pick the Jets to win the AFC East over Buffalo and Miami, because if you look at because if you look at the Jets roster, if you look at the Bills roster, the Bills have issues with wide receiver. They have issues at corner. They have issues at safety. They have issues with the depth on the defensive line. So the Bills have a lot of things to fix, and it's not going to be easy, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on Josh Allen to have a monster season for the Bills to have a chance to contend if for the postseason. Now, so has this been done before, where a superstar quarterback has proved himself to be even better than once thought, with less to play more to perform more with less? Yes, that Tom Brady did that 10 years ago with New England. Patrick Mahomes did that with Kansas City after losing Tyreek Hill in a trade. So it's been done before, but it's not going to be easy because you have a coach with Sean McDermott that you can't be able to trust in crunch time situations in big time games like the playoffs. So yeah, but I do think with the Texans though, I think you got to raise the ceiling on that more. Now, so it is the Texans did restructure the 4-year deal that Stephon Diggs got, so it's a 1-year deal basically, and allow him to be a free agent next off season. But that's going to be a lot to take in for a quarterback who really needed Stephon Diggs to be elevated to the MVP conversation. So I don't get I get why they had to trade Stephon Diggs because he wasn't part of the culture. I mean, you go all the way back to mini camp last year when the Sean McDermott excused Stephon Diggs from mandatory minicamp practice, which I knew was it was going to be an issue that plagued the team this season. Just didn't think it would be the issue that plagued the team last season. So great move by the Texans. Now the Bills and Brandon Beane have a lot of work to do, and Brandon Beane is not going to be afraid to be aggressive come draft time.
So AFC teams better watch out for Houston because as the tally said earlier, they can only get better because Houston was very good last year. So
and you get year 2 of D'Amico Ryans, year 2 of CJ Stroud, and remember I kept saying all of last summer not to sleep on the Houston Texans because I think D'Amico Ryans is that trustworthy to be a leader of men, and that's what he proved to be, getting the Texans to win the division and win a playoff game.
Yeah, don't forget Tank Dell. He might have a breakout year.
Yeah, I mean Tank Dell.
Tank.
Think of Nico Collins. Joe Mixon is with the Texans as well. He signed a big contract. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're talking about the Houston Texans as the team that represents the AFC in the Super Bowl this upcoming season.
Yeah, I thought that's what I was saying earlier. While you were trying to get reconnected, I said they could be a dark horse to make it to the Super Bowl.
So, but I mean, you need to have the Super Bowl as a healthy expectation, right? Because because you want to be in a situation where you could look at the roster 1 through 53, what the Texans have been able to do, make a couple of upgrades in the front seven. And get to a point where you can say Texans to their first ever Super Bowl is a healthy conversation, and it's perfectly fine to have that Super Bowl upside because because I'm on Hooked on Sports a couple of weeks ago. I made sure to emphasize the threat of the Houston Texans in regards to who can catch the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC next season.
Yeah, I was thinking this could put I was saying this could put Houston as one of the top maybe 4 if not top 3 teams in the AFC. Of course you got Kansas City, you got Baltimore. I would say maybe put Houston at either 3 or 4 and maybe put Miami in there, even though you don't want to sleep on the Jets this year. So they might make some noise as well, of course, with the return of Aaron Rodgers. And we'll just see how everything goes there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think this is the best I felt about the Jets in going into a season since the Rex Ryan years. So because I think the offensive line should be significantly better. Now, we'll have to see about the health of Tyron Smith. I think because Tim knows full and well the Tyron Smith experience as a diehard fan of the Dallas Cowboys, but that's what we're looking at here when you look at it from the Jets and the Buffalo Bills in the AFC.
Yeah, that's right. Already 13 years put away in his pocket with the Cowboys. He was a very, very great offensive lineman, but he was just injury prone so much. And I'd say probably one of the best injury prone players the NFL's had in probably the last 10 or 15 years. But just gotta watch him over in New York, see if he can progress really well and stay healthy there.
Yeah.
Anyway, as right about a couple of minutes before Flynn got reconnected, we are also discussing another thing that happened back on the 10th of this month. The great O.J. Simpson passed away at the age of 76 years old. He died in his home in Las Vegas. And to say that O.J. Simpson lived 2 different lives would probably be the greatest understatement that could ever be made. I mean, people back in the 60s and 70s, of course, sports fans everywhere remember him as an awesome running back, uh, played USC, um, won the Heisman in 68, won a very first pick in the 69 draft selected by the Buffalo Bills. And he went on to have a great career. Looking at his Wikipedia page right here, he finished with 11,236 rushing yards and 61 rushing touchdowns, while he had 203 catches for 2,142 yards and 14 receiving touchdowns. And of course, after a great NFL career, he went into broadcasting, called NFL games for NBC, and I think he did Monday Night Football for a couple of years. And of course, he went on to be a great actor. We probably all remember the Naked Gun movies. I remember those. But then 1995 comes around, and his world's just turned upside down.
Mm-hmm.
He, of course, is tagged with the murder of his then ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman. Turned into the trial of the century. We remember the Ford Bronco chase on the freeway. Then, of course, you remember him finally getting the not guilty verdict. Yeah. So the real big question is, how will OJ really be remembered? Flynn.
It's yeah. I mean, and because I think 1995 was like a monster year in terms of in terms of criminal court proceedings, because you had the yeah, because you had the O.J. Simpson trial. There was also a big trial on Long Island in 1995 for a mass shooting on the Long Island Railroad, where where a black supremacist um, shot and killed 6 people and injured 19 others on the Long Island Railroad for insanity purposes. The events of 93 with the supremacist Colin Ferguson, who shot up one of the biggest webs of mass transportation in the country. And then you had the O.J. Simpson case in '94. So those two trials, at the beginning of '95, were happening at the same time, and it really docks the innocence of a real young generation of people about the inherent racism that is present in this country. That the white people thought O.J. Simpson was guilty. The black people thought O.J. Simpson was not guilty, and the country was bitterly divided over this issue. Because if you look at the talk of that, and it's still going on today, and it's really a big topic of conversation leading up to the November elections about the place for white supremacy in this country. But but O.J. Simpson was found not guilty for the murders, and I think people will tell you that he was clearly guilty, and he was the only possible person that would have been able to kill his ex-wife and Ron Goldman. But so he should be remembered for. You rattled off the nuggets, Tim, about the bill, about what he was able to do at USC and with the Buffalo Bills, but. But look, but in this society, we look at the bad things significantly outweighing the good things, and you have all these rules in places because you can't trust the bad people not to not to break the laws, because criminals will always be criminals, and it really points home of what this place and what this country was. But unfortunately, he's going to be viewed more for his off the field stuff. And it wasn't just the the murders themselves. It was also a couple of other civil things going on surrounding him. But I mean, honestly, good riddance.
Tally, your thoughts.
Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, basically, people like our generation, people who were born in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, today, they're not going to remember OJ for being a football player. They're going to remember him for his criminal actions, and even possibly even what happened, I want to say it was like 2007, 2008. He was found guilty of something. I forgot what it was, but he was sentenced to, I think, life imprisonment or something, and he eventually got released from that. But yeah, people are going to remember him mostly for his criminal past and less of football. Because, yeah, basically, if you ask a kid today, like a person of like our generation today, what do you most remember about O.J. Simpson? They're going to say 1995 trial. Nobody's going to say football if you ask them, what's the first thing you think of when you hear the name O.J. Simpson? Who's gonna say football?
Right. So it'd be the older people that like me who would remember him as the football player, but of course living through the 80s and then through the 90s and the 2000s, all that. Yeah, it's just just another one of those sad cases where we've seen it time and time again over the years where a sports hero becomes a sports zero.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a real sad thing. But I would say, I mean, I don't wish any ill will, but rest in peace, OJ. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. Just all those sad stories of this life, you know. Anyway, anything else that we need to discuss before we get into the meat of the program?
Ultimately, I mean, as a Cowboys fan, it's probably good to get your thoughts about them signing Royce Freeman.
Oh yes, the Cowboys did sign former Rams running back Royce Freeman to a 1-year deal. I think it's okay. I mean, right now on the depth chart, you got well, they did. I mean, like I said, sometime last month they just signed Rico Dowdle to a 1-year deal, and of course they still have they have their second-year rusher Deuce Vaughn. We mentioned him on our last show about second-year players who could improve as far as fantasy numbers is concerned. This signing, I guess it would be okay. I mean, I don't think they really should draft a running back. I think right now the Cowboys' main concern is on the offensive line and maybe another one on the defensive secondary, because as Flynn mentioned on our last show, Cowboys' offensive line was very, very weak. And now with all the losses we had with Tyler Biotish and with Tyron Smith, they're probably going to have to see if they can draft a couple of offensive linemen starting this next Thursday. But of course, that's first round, and of course, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think, is when the draft goes on. So, maybe this Royce Freeman guy, I'll just have to see what happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Also, we got to talk about the Rashee Rice situation in Kansas City.
Oh
yeah.
yes, he was involved in it was I think it was a vehicle accident in Dallas,
Mhm.
and I think he has joined his teammates. I think they've started their off-season training, the I guess before draft training. I guess um, I don't really have too much details about it. Flynn, you probably got more than I do.
It's yeah, this is probably going to be something that results in a suspension for Rasheed Rice because Rice played so well for the Chiefs down the stretch of the season, there's a possibility uh a legal situation there but he was involved in a high speed hit and run crash about 3 weeks ago. It was like the day after we last we signed off in where he was driving 119 miles an hour and he was and apparently was high on was apparently high on marijuana, which I thought what was tough to have for him. So and that might result in a suspension or two of one or a couple of games to start the season. But yes, the reports are that he is back with the team to work out with under Andy Reid. We and also in the last 10 days we did have three extensions of players. It's the Josh Allen of the Jaguars, the edge rusher, agreed to a $150 million extension with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Including 88 million guaranteed. So basically a little bit more than what Brian Burns got from the Giants. DeForest Buckner, the defensive lineman for the Colts, 4-year, $46 million extension. And Eagles wide receiver Devontae Smith got an extension, 3 years, $51 million.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Devontae Smith, one of the better receivers for that Eagles team. It looks like they might be in the running once again to maybe win the NFC's Eastern Division this year. We'll just have to see what happens. So
Yeah, I mean, if I was to pick, if I was to compare and contrast the Eagles and the Cowboys, I trust Philly more than the Cowboys because I've been ahead of the curve every year the last 4 years. Where last year I thought Dallas was better than Philly, and then the year before Philly was better than Dallas, but this year I see Philly better than Dallas in the NFC East.
let's see there.
Yeah. Also, another Kansas City news. So about a couple of weeks ago, the people of Jackson County had a ballot initiative regarding Arrowhead Stadium because the Chiefs apparently want to move out of Arrowhead and build a new stadium downtown, but they want the taxpayers to pay for it, and they want like a sales tax. And the voters vehemently rejected it because the vote lost by like 17, like with 57% of the vote against it. So if the Chiefs want to build a new stadium and go downtown, they're gonna have to pay it for themselves. Also, we have the first matchup revealed of the 2024 season, and it is the week 1 game, the first Friday of the season in Brazil, because the NFL is playing in South America for the first time in Sao Paulo, because it was revealed that the Philadelphia Eagles will be playing will be the home team for that. They will be taking on the Green Bay Packers to open up the season in Brazil. and that game is going to be a Peacock exclusive. So the only way you can watch that game is on Peacock.
Peacock, which of course is where you can also stream Sunday Night Football.
Yeah,
it's what I do sometimes.
So I mean, of course, if you're in the Green Bay and Philly local areas, you'll the channel for the NBC affiliate in those stations in those metro areas will carry the game on their local Channel 4 network or an alternative channel.
Yeah. Eagles and Packers in Brazil.
Yeah. And also Amazon. I believe I saw that Amazon's going to do one of the wild card games this year. So I think NBC is going to have 2 games. Amazon's going to have 1, and then ABC, CBS, and Fox will each have 1.
Wow. So it looks like the streaming services are really starting to get into the NFL, which is I don't think it's that bad at all. So I guess with that being said, I guess we can go into I guess what you would call the main event.
Yeah.
We are six days away from the start of the 2024 National Football League Collegiate Draft. And this year it takes place in
Detroit, I think.
Yes, correct.
Draft in Motown. I like that. So, everyone's got mock drafts. Plenty. People have been doing mock drafts for the last few weeks or last couple of months. But we made our own mock drafts. Me and I. It's one website which looked pretty decent. It's actually it's basically the first round. The 32 teams that will be picking in the first round, but not all 32 teams will have a pick in the first round.
So because you have 3 teams that will not be picking in the first round. You got the Carolina Panthers, of course. They traded up and drafted at the start of last year's draft and traded Bryce Young, but they with Bryce that they still wound up being the worst team in football. So the number 1 overall pick goes to the Chicago Bears. The Houston Texans currently do not have a first round pick because they originally had 2. One of the picks they traded to move up and draft Will Anderson last year, and the other was used in a pre-draft trade with the Minnesota Vikings. So where the Vikings get a first round pick, while the Texans receive some compensation later. That we'll get, and I'll get to that in a second. Why that trade's important, and then also the Cleveland Browns because it's the last of the first round picks that went in the Deshaun Watson trade. Way back in 2022. This was the last year of picks going to Houston, but Houston flipped that first round pick to Arizona in the Will Anderson trade. So those are the 3 teams that don't have first round picks this year. But we'll get into our mock drafts in just a little bit. But I mean, I need to ask you, Natalia, what is what are the 2 things, a couple things that you are most interested in seeing in terms of how the flow of the first round is going to go on Thursday?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which QBs come off the board first. They're basically the biggest class right now, headlined by Drake May, Caleb Williams, J.J. McCarthy, just to name a few. You could very well see possibly 3 quarterbacks going right off the bat. 1, 2, 3. Bears, Patriots, and then whoever is.
Yes, and Commanders.
Yeah, because you have Chicago drafting 1, Washington at 2, New England at 3.
Yeah, I think all of them are expected to draft QBs.
Yeah, but I think the thing that I'm really most interested in seeing is it is what happens at 4. Yeah, because the Cardinals have the 4th pick.
Right.
And you can rattle off 4 teams that need quarterbacks. It's a lot like the Giants who are at 6. You got the Minnesota Vikings that they have the 11th overall pick. They also have the number 23 pick in that trade I mentioned with Houston. So the Vikings can easily package those 2 first round picks and move up to draft JJ McCarthy. The Giants, I don't believe the 2025 Week 1 starter for the Giants, the quarterback is currently on the roster. The Denver Broncos need a quarterback. They're at 12. The Las Vegas Raiders are in the quarterback business too. They pick number 13. So it's definitely going to be a horse race to try and get as much as possible. So if you're Monty Ossenfort in the Arizona Cardinals, I think you're in a great situation at 4, and even if there's still one of those quarterbacks available at 5, the Chargers pick at 5, and you have a new regime with Jim Harbaugh and Joe as the coach, and Joe Ortiz as the GM. That maybe the Chargers trade back and get some try to fill up the roster, which I think can be something fun. But when they have a lot of cap space going into next year and basically completely transform the roster in 2 years, or that if the quarterbacks go 1 through 4, they can just pick Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 5. So I think that the first half of the draft of the first round is going to be really dependent on that, and then you also have 3 wide receivers that I think are going to go in the first round. So, but then I think when you look when you go toward when you get to pick 20 the last 10-15 picks. So like will there be any wide receivers that are going to be going that are going to be going, and will there be teams that feel they need to trade up and get a star wide receiver because there are because it's not just Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Romeo Dunze who round out the class. You have some real sleepers who I think could be stars in the NFL as well. Maybe looking at Brian Thomas from LSU, Xavier Legette from South Carolina, Xavier Worthy from Texas, because Xavier Worthy ran the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL scouting combine history, which I think is a gigantic deal, because given the emphasis on speed in the NFL. Keon Coleman from Florida State, Lad McConkey from Georgia, Roman Wilson from Michigan. But definitely keep your eyes on the 2 Texas wide receivers, Donnie Mitchell and Xavier Worthy. I think both can be really strong receivers, and they could be perennial candidates to be 1,000-yard receivers in the NFL. So I think that's what my mindset is right now when you look at the first round.
All right. Well, I guess with that being said, I think we could go ahead and pop up one of those nice little graphics there. Whichever one you want to go with first, Flynn.
Yeah, I mean, so are we thinking?
Save yours for last.
So what was your thought? I mean, so you're saying the tallies first?
No, I don't have anything.
I'm
just saying save yours for last.
Okay,
that's the main purpose of the show. Grand finale.
I mean, I didn't see one from Tim, in our communications. So
I think I may have sent it to to Flynn on the messenger here. I don't know if he
Yeah,
got a hold of it here.
yeah.
Yeah, I said,
If you Tim, if you sent one, I did not receive it.
okay. So what I will do,
Yeah,
I will copy that and
yeah,
let me just attach it right here like I did the first one. It should be
yeah.
coming up
Me,
on the
me
messenger
yeah,
right about now.
yeah. Meanwhile, while I'm getting that set up, because I also think we could discuss a couple of things with fantasy perspective in terms of the potential running backs that could be going starting in the second round because there's basically three main running back candidates who I think could be strong. I think could be going early on. You're looking at Jonathan Brooks from Texas, looking at Trey Benson from Florida State, who I tend to like a lot, and then Blake Corum, who set career rushing records at Michigan, capped off a great by a great performance in the national championship game against Washington last year. But I think there is one name that is seriously underrated and that I think is going to be a star in the NFL, and that's going to be drafted in the fourth or fifth round. So this is a day three pick. I think there's a day three pick that I think is going to be a great running back in the NFL. And I'm looking at Audric Estime, the running back from Notre Dame. I think this is a name you need to watch. I think he is a power back. I think he is a physical back, and and having learned from a 1,000 yard rusher and Kyron Williams at Notre Dame, I think he has what it takes to be a star in the NFL. He's 5'11", weighs 221 pounds. I think he is the deep sleeper at the running back position. And if he gets a chance to start for a team this upcoming season or next season, I think he could be a name that they definitely want to look out for.
Yeah, I see a few names here. As you mentioned, Estime for Notre Dame, Brooks from Texas, Jalen Wright, Tennessee, Blake Corum, Michigan, Marshawn Lloyd, USC, Braylon Allen from Wisconsin, and Trey Benson from Florida State. Some of the big names right there that could, as Flynn said, could go maybe early in the second round, mid second, late early third, maybe. Because as was mentioned, this looks like a pretty wide open receiver heavy draft this year. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as the first round is concerned, anyway.
And I mean, in terms of in terms of how the league used the wide receiver chat, because there was a reason only two guys signed a multi-year contracts as free agents with other teams at the start. When you're looking at Gabe Davis, as maybe the best example of it, nobody really signed significant wide receiver contracts going from one team to another. Um,
Right.
yes. So I think I think the wide receivers. I mean, you could have you could still have receivers that are that are graded as second round picks go into the third round. I think that's how loaded this wide receiver class is. Um,
All right.
so I think hold on, we can is so I do believe that it is mock draft time. So I believe we're going to start here with this looks like Timmy's.
Let's see here. Don't see it up on my screen just yet. It's buffering on my side.
Same here.
And it looks like you said his computer just crashed yet again.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so And I would try to get this on my end here, but I usually have connection problems that they usually pretty much uh not too well either. But
I mean, I guess
I
while we
guess
wait for Flynn to get back, you want to do a little tough trivia while we wait?
I guess we could.
Yeah, I have my question ready.
Let's okay, you got yours ready. Let me get the thing here.
Yeah,
There
while we
we
wait,
go.
we won't have to answer right away. I'll give you time to think about it. Uh, I was basically
Right.
thinking about the draft. When you think about teams, who gets the first pick? I have a two-part question here. Which team has had the most picks at number one? So that's all I'm saying. Who's been number one the most times? I believe there are two teams here. Let me check my link here really quick. Let's see. Okay, now that's loading up on my end. I think it's just one team, possibly two. But then on the other side, there are three teams that have never had the number one pick. So basically, I'm saying which teams basically answer like both parts. Who's had the most and who's had the least, essentially.
And it looks like hmm. So he said it might be two teams
Yeah, let me.
that have
Yeah,
had the most picks at number one, and the
yeah.
three
I'm gonna
teams
go back.
that have
Yep.
never
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to
had
my
a number
link
one
here,
pick.
see if I could find it. Yeah, let's see. Just gonna go back. Okay, yeah, there's a tie. Two teams have had the number one pick 7 times, and there are three teams that have never been on the clock first.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking for the two teams that have been on the clock at number
See
one
if you can-
twice at 7, and the three teams that have never been on the clock at 1. So I'll let you think about that while Flynn is back now.
Yeah.
So I overheard what Natalia's question, like which teams have never been on the clock and which teams have had the most number one overall picks.
Yeah, like which two teams have picked first the most times? There's a tie for that, and there's three teams that have never been on the clock at number one.
Yeah, I mean, I know one of them for who's never been on the clock first.
Okay, yeah, we'll save that for later. We'll get the
Yeah, and then did Tim have a question?
no,
Yes.
not yet. You didn't.
Well, I do have a question. But I've not mentioned it yet.
Okay.
Who was the first rookie quarterback to start an NFL playoff game?
First rookie quarterback. So if the most recent one was C.J. Stroud, the oldest, the first one must be blank, right?
Yeah, this first one, you're going to have to go back a little bit.
Okay.
So, since you were about to put up that graphic on the screen right when your system crashed, I was just going to go through a rundown, starting with the first 5 picks here. got Caleb Williams from USC, the quarterback, going to Chicago. Pretty much a lock in right there.
Yeah, I didn't ask my question yet because I had a trivia question too.
Oh,
I told you this before.
Wow! My brain is not quite functioning as it should. Maybe I need a second cup of coffee. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, yes. So I think this one is going to be a bit of an easier question than I usually do, especially if you paid attention during the draft process in the past few years. We anticipate that the first three picks are going to be quarterbacks of the draft, whether it's Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, if JJ McCarthy is included as well, and if we get if we get quarterbacks in the first four picks, that's never happened before. So, but there have been 3 times in NFL draft history where quarterbacks went 1, 2, and 3 in the draft. But name the most recent the 3 quarterbacks that were drafted first, second, and third overall consecutively the last time it happened.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That is basically a. Oh, that is a oh my goodness. That is.
And I'll give you a
hint. You're picked 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yep. Yeah, I'll give you a hint. It's happened pretty recently.
Yeah.
So name the 3 quarterbacks.
Ooh. Wait. Are we answering now, or are we doing the mock drafts first?
Tim was going to read off his mock draft because my monitor is still restarting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let him do the mock draft first, and then we'll go back to the trivia, I guess.
Okay. Number 1, Caleb Williams going to the Bears. Quarterback. They obviously need some help there. I see quarterback Jaden Daniels going number 2 to the Commanders. Drake May, quarterback from North Carolina. I see him going to the Patriots. I see a huge upgrade in wide receiver with Marvin Harrison Jr. from the Ohio State University heading to the Arizona Cardinals. And looks like, according to this, looks like a trade up for the Vikings, trading up to number 5 to get JJ McCarthy from Michigan. Obviously, they'll need a little upgrade at quarterback since the departure of Kirk Cousins. Number 6 from this list here. LSU wide receiver Malik Neighbors heading to your New York Jets, or New York Giants, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Alt, offensive tackle from Notre Dame, going to the Titans. The aforementioned Rome Odunsi going from the Washington Cougars. He'll be taken by the Jaguars. Dallas Turner, edge rusher from Alabama, heading to Chicago Bears. Number 10, the Jets taking Georgia tight end Brock Bowers. Number 11, another trade. Penn State offensive tackle going to the Los Angeles Chargers. Alumi Fashanu, that's his last name.
Mm-hmm.
Going to
right.
Going to the Chargers. Another trade involving the Vikings. Jared Verse, edge rusher from Florida State. Quinyon Mitchell, corner from Toledo, taken number 13 by the Las Vegas Raiders. Talise Fuaga from Oregon State, the offensive tackle there, going number 14 to the New Orleans Saints. At number 15, it looks like the Colts could select corner Terrion Arnold from Alabama. 16, offensive tackle Troy Faltanu going from Washington University to the Seattle Seahawks. 17, looks like a trade up in Atlanta, taking on Latu from UCLA, the edge rusher there. Almost kind of an interesting name is Puka Nakua. Number 18, the Bengals taking defensive tackle Byron Murphy II from Texas. Welcome, Horns. 19, the Rams. Looks like they may get a Johnny Newton, defensive tackle from Illinois. Amarius Mims, offensive tackle from Georgia, taken at number 20 by the Pittsburgh Steelers. J.C. Latham, offensive tackle from Alabama, taken number 21 by the Miami Dolphins. 22, Cooper Dijon or Dejean, whatever you call him, safety from Iowa, taken by the Eagles at 22. Number 23, I think, looks like the Broncos could be trading up to get Bo Nix, the quarterback from Oregon. At number 24, my Cowboys selecting center Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon, which I will not shake my head at. They do need another center, another offensive lineman. He could be a pretty good one right there. Probably my best name I've seen since Adam Pac-Man Jones. At number 25, Green Bay taking cornerback from Alabama, Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Kool-Aid.
I mean, do you remember? I think Bama also had a defensive back named Clinton Dix that went to the Packers.
Clinton Dix. Yep, I remember that. So obviously that's a meme in the making right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Number 26. Graham Barton taking the offensive center for Duke, number 26 to the Buccaneers. Cardinals come in at number 27 and probably take Chop Robinson, edge rusher from Penn State. There's another cool name right there. Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU, taken at number 28 by the aforementioned Bills. Said the Bills could use some help on receiver position. 29, Nate Wiggins from Clemson, the corner, taken by the Detroit Lions. Number 30, wide receiver from Texas, Adonai Mitchell, taken to the Ravens. Number 31, Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, the offensive tackle, taken at number 31 by the San Francisco 49ers. And the aforementioned wide receiver, Xavier Worthy from Texas, taken at number 32 by the defending champs, the Chiefs. So that's pretty much this list right here.
I think the most interesting thing that I took away from your mock, Tim, is that you have the Broncos trading back into the first round and grabbing Bo Nix.
Okay.
It's because I think you're onto something with the Broncos needing a quarterback, but I think the concern I have is that I don't know if the Broncos are ready to win with a rookie quarterback just yet, because they have so much in dead cap that they lost in the Russell Wilson trade. It's crazy. The ripple effects of that trade are still going through really the league because of that. But so, I mean that's kind of why I did not have the Broncos drafting the quarterback because I don't know if the roster is ready for a rookie quarterback to succeed.
No, I could see the reason. I mean, I guess their thinking must be maybe high risk, high reward, but like you said, well, we'll just have to see. But I'll be keeping my eye on that if that happens. Which right now I just like I said, it's a mock draft. Anything can happen between now and there. There's 6 more days, so anything else catch your eye or catch your ear?
I mean, I think because you had the Vikings trading up from 11 to 5 to get JJ McCarthy and trading with the Chargers.
Yeah. Is that probably the only excuse to that is maybe get someone else to fill the quarterback position now that Kirk Cousins is gone. I don't know who would be their starter right now.
Right now, the Minnesota starter would be Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. Boy, what has he gotten us?
Because right now I'm seeing your draft here. So, but I do find it also interesting that you have Jacksonville and Atlanta trading because I disagree with that with that viewpoint. But because I don't think wide receiver is a position of need for Jacksonville, especially since they just added a couple of receivers in the off season.
Okay.
And I don't know. I also don't know why the Falcons would trade down from 8 to 17 because I don't know why they would do that when they literally are going to have their choice the best defensive player of the draft.
Okay. Well, just have to see what happens there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of time for these teams to get their picks locked in. So I think Flynn's trying to get back in on his monitor here.
Yeah.
And of course he'll try to get us his mock draft in.
Yeah, but I'm currently getting Tim's up because
yeah. Okay, well. Okay, well, no, that happens. I know this is very unprofessional of me, but I gotta use the restroom. So,
Right.
wait a minute. He's trying to get votes again. So, oh my goodness, connection problems again. So, I gave my list here. What do you guys think about it? We welcome all your comments down in the comment section below. Just let us know who you think who should go where and all that stuff and the trivia questions that we had here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we'll be answering those questions later on in the show. And of course, stay tuned because at the end of the show, we have a very special announcement to make. And that involves all you out there, all the viewers. So, and it looks like, well, it looks like Flynn is back in there now.
Yes, here we go. So this was Tim's draft before, so you can see it again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one I made right there. Yeah. Yeah, now that Flynn mentioned it, there is a couple of those that kind of give some cause to pause, but I mean I can see that. I mean, with Jacksonville signing a couple of receivers already. So yeah, I mean I can
Yeah,
understand that.
but also think about it this way: that there's going to be a lot of pressure on Trevor Lawrence because he's up for his 50th option next year, and he has not performed the way he's needed to be successful in this league yet, because some of his numbers through 3 years are similar to that of Daniel Jones through his first 3 years. So that's going to be something.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I'll say Trevor Lawrence had I think last year was a down
All
year.
right,
I'll
and
give
now,
him that.
yeah. All right, and Natal, is this your first round stuff?
No, I didn't say anything because I don't follow college sports. But I'll
Oh,
just predict that I think our Giants are going to take Malik Neighbors. I'll just make that prediction.
yeah, yeah, and number 6 because you think the quarterbacks are going to go, or you think the Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to go as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Um,
I was just about to tell Natalia I need to use the restroom, so I'll let you guys talk about Flynn's mock draft, and I'll come back and
Okay.
take a look at that. And seems pretty good. So y'all carry
Okay.
on. I'll return. Don't go anywhere,
Okay.
y'all. Check out that list there.
All right.
Okay, so let's take a look at my picks. So I'm going Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, because all the rumors have been that Washington's going to pick a quarterback. They're not going to trade down, and they're pretty much set on drafting Jaden Daniels. I think the New England Patriots are. I think that they're going to stay at 3 and draft a quarterback. I mean, I still don't know why the Patriots haven't hired a general manager yet, which I vehemently disagree with, given the amount of turnover that happened going from Bill Belichick to Gerard Mayo as the coach. But hey, that's just me. But then I have the Minnesota Vikings trading up because Tim has the Vikings trading up to 5 to draft JJ McCarthy. I have them going up to 4 to leap ahead of other possibilities.
Oh, trading with the Cardinals.
Yeah. So that's why I have 3 first round picks for the Arizona Cardinals as a result. I Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Chargers feels like a no-brainer after that, because the Chargers need a replacement for both Keenan Allen and
Mike Williams, right?
and Mike Williams, who both left with Keenan Allen with trade, and Mike Williams due to free agency. And so then I have the Giants drafting Malik Neighbors at number 6, finally giving them a legit number 1 wide receiver. I still think Jalen Hyatt and Wan'Dale Robinson can be solid receivers in this league, but they don't have a true number 1 wide receiver.
Right.
I think I think Joe Alt to the Titans is the worst kept secret in all of football right now. I think he is going to go at number 7. But then I have the Atlanta Falcons at 8. That's 7 offensive players already taken off the board. The Falcons already have they have 3 skill players whom they invested first round picks in each of the last 3 years, and Bijan Robinson last year and Drake May and Kyle Pitts, and then bring the big piece Kirk Cousins. So I think the Falcons will pick the best defensive player in this year's draft. I could make it. I could see how they also make an argument for Jared Verse because I feel like Turner and Verse are 1-2, but I think this is going to be based on need. So I think they'll be able to draft that. And then I have Romeo Dunze going to the Chicago Bears at number 9 to give which would make for a great wide receiver trio with DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Romeo Dunze with Caleb Williams as the quarterback. I think that's got to be such a dreamy combination for the Bears. And then I have the Jets getting Brock Bowers at number 10. Now, I would not be surprised if there was a team like the Indianapolis Colts or the New Orleans Saints that try and trade up that try to trade up to 9 to get Brock Bowers, because Brock Bowers is not going to get past 10 in my opinion, because I think that would be given how important he was for Georgia, but and the difference was night and day on that. Then I have the Cardinals and Broncos drafting corners, and then I think I think there's been a lot of rumblings that the Raiders are looking at Michael Penix Jr. Now, I disagree with this. From perspective, I think I feel like Bo Nix is going to be better as an NFL quarterback than Michael Penix Jr. because I don't think Michael Penix Jr. I think the upside for Michael Penix Jr. Is Tua, but as we saw in the down the stretch when the Dolphins faced tougher teams like Buffalo in the last game of the regular season, and then the game in Kansas City in the wild card game, going up against two great defenses that he was not he did not perform the way he needed to, and I think Tua and I think we've realized Tua's ceiling. I think we've seen Tua's ceiling. Now I would and it still gives me back when the Dolphins decided to draft Tua over Herbert, which made no sense at all at the time. I imagine how things would change if the Dolphins took Herbert instead of Tua. Anyway, I think the New Orleans Saints. I also am in agreement with Tim that the Saints will land a stud tackle and Olu Fashanu from Penn State. Brian Thomas Jr. also from LSU. So you're gonna have two LSU wide receivers go in the top 15. The last time you think of had LSU wide receivers with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson, I think this is a similar boat there. I think Seattle needs a big upgrade on the defensive line. I think they'll get that with Jared Verse. I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to pick a corner in Terrion Arnold from Bama. I have the Cincinnati Bengals drafting Fuaga at 18. And number 19, and believe it or not, this is the first time the Rams have picked in the first round since they drafted Jared Goff back in 2016. So this is because if you remember the Rams trade first round picks for Stafford and Jalen Ramsey and others. This is their first round pick under Sean McVay, who is entering his 8th season as the coach of the Rams. But the Rams need their Aaron Donald replacement. I think the best available the best interior defensive lineman in this draft. You can make an argument. You can make a couple of arguments there for Johnny Newton, but Byron Murphy II is who I'm going to go with there. The Steelers need offensive line help to protect their quarterback. I think Joy Fountaino, I think it's going to go to Pittsburgh at number 20. And then I have a couple of interesting trades because I have the Bills trading up 7 spots with the Dolphins to snag Xavier Worthy in a trade between division rivals. So and I have the Bills giving up their first round pick next year to be able to move up on that. The Philadelphia, then the rest of these picks are basically filling out needs. I have the Eagles drafting the best available corner in Quinion Mitchell, because I think the Eagles definitely need an upgrade in their secondary. I have the Cardinals bringing Latu over from UCLA as the second first round pick they get back with Minnesota. I think J.C. Latham is going to be a steal in this draft. I think because a lot of people have Latham going in the first 20 picks. I don't think. I think he goes to he falls to number 24 to the Dallas Cowboys. And then I have another division draft day trade between division rivals. So because I feel like there's going to be some pressure on the Lions to make an immediate plug and play move. And I think, because I think if you look at the Lions objectively, and again, the Lions did go to the NFC Championship game, but if you objectively watched the Lions, I think they need someone. I think it was clear that Aiden Hutchinson needed someone else to help him get to the quarterback. So I believe the Lions will trade up. I think the Lions should get aggressive and trade up and draft Penn State edge rusher Chop Robinson, who I think is tremendous, and who I thought was the best player on one of the best defenses in college football. So that's that. Pick 26, Baker Mayfield needs some more protection ahead in front of him, given that he just signed a 3-year, $100 million plus contract extension with the Bucs. So the Bucs draft their next center in Jackson Powers Johnson. And then I have the Cardinals drafting Kool-Aid McKinstry at 27. So it's interesting that I have two corners. Two of the three picks in the first round for the Cardinals are corners, but I think that's how bad the Cardinals secondary was last year. So I think the two of them together being first round picks, I think could be interesting, and both will have 50 options up at the same time before they're up for potential extensions. So it's obviously this is going to be a year of growing pains for that defense because it clearly needs a rebuild. But that's how I'm feeling with the Arizona Cardinals. And then I have the Dolphins getting Tua protection as well in center Graham Barton. Then I have Johnny Newton going to the Packers at 29 as part of when they trade down for that. The Baltimore Ravens draft a guard to replace Kevin Zeitler. The 49ers will take Amarius Mims at number 31. And then I have Kansas City picking a wide receiver at number 32 in Donnie Mitchell.
Nice
Yeah,
pick.
very,
The only surprise for me is Bo Nix isn't in the first round.
I was asking the same question right before we got on got on tonight because remember, I think the big thing about the first round picks is that the teams have the 5th-year option. Mm-hmm. So and because I think the 5th-year option is more important to have for a quarterback than anyone else because then you have one less year where with the one extra year of your rookie contract. But I just think that if the Chiefs want to three-peat, and I think the big weakness for the Chiefs last year was wide receiver. Mm-hmm. So I think the Chiefs want to have a plug and play route for that. Right. And then of course he'll be made into a star by none other than Patrick Mahomes. And I think what's also go ahead, Tim.
And of course you did mention the possible suspension for Rashee Rice, which would probably kind of push Mitchell a little bit into one of those three receiver roles there. I guess it just depends on what their depth chart is looking like.
Yeah, imagine the Kansas City Chiefs draft WR1 for 2020 week 1 2024 with the 32nd overall pick. And again, I'm gonna be unveiling my official mock on Hooked on Sports next Wednesday. So this is kind of like the rough draft. I'll probably tweak some things between now and next Wednesday, but I will do that'll be part of my annual NFL Draft Eve special.
Okay.
All right. So y'all be sure to look out for his latest his annual draft day show for Hooked on Sports, which comes next Wednesday, right? You just said next Wednesday.
Yeah. And then I also have also have to record a podcast for some after this because for my playoffs picks for the NBA and the NHL and other stuff, but I'll get to that later from my other stuff, but yeah, so I think that's what we're thinking in terms of our mocks. So do you think it's time to answer the trivia questions?
Yes, I do believe so. Let's
yeah.
Let me do mine first, since I went first already.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So let's say. So as I said, I think earlier, 2 teams have had the number 1 pick the most at 7 times, where on the opposite side, there are 3 teams that have never been first on the clock. So let's start with the teams that were the most at 7. All right, so you two work together. Think of 2 teams that you two believe have had the most number 1 picks overall. Well, first on the clock, rather.
I feel like the Bears are one of them because I think the Bears have had a lot of number 1 overall picks in the past, right, Tim?
I would say probably the other one, probably the most obvious one, the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right on that too. I mean, but I think the first draft was in 1936, and the Browns really didn't have to pick first overall until the 60s because they won a lot of championships, whether it was with the AAFC from in the late 40s and in the NFL in the 50s.
Right.
So, but I'm gonna go with the Bears and the Lions because I think the Lions have been in the NFL longer. So that's who I'm gonna go with for those.
All right. So your final answer is Bears and Lions.
It's for the first part, yeah.
Okay,
that's mine.
Tim, and then Tim, your final answer.
My final answer for the first part is the Bears and the Browns.
Ooh. You both were extremely close on the Browns. The Browns are tied for second. They had 5.
So I did not pick the Browns.
Oh, my bad. So yeah, Browns are tied for second at 5. Someone said the Lions, right?
Yeah.
Flynn said the Lions.
Mm-hmm. The Lions are actually tied for third at 4. Let's see. I know Bears was said. Let's see. I mean, this coming draft, the Bears will also be at 4 for this draft upcoming. This will be the Bears' 4th round. Yeah, you guys had a pretty good. Guys came pretty close. Actually, it's a tie between the Colts and the Rams. They each had 7.
Ooh, the Colts and the Rams.
Good guesses, guys. But yeah, the Cardinals.
Yeah, who else did the Rams pick first over? Oh, because they picked Sam Bradford and they picked Jared Goff in the same decade, first overall. Yeah. And then the Colts had Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm. And then tied for second.
Did the Rams get Jalen Ramsey or?
No, the Rams got Jalen Ramsey in a trade.
Oh, a trade, right?
Yeah,
right.
They traded 2 first-round picks to Jacksonville.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we had Cardinals, Browns, and Bucks. They were tied for second at 5. Mm-hmm. Falcons, Bills, Bengals, Lions, Patriots, Bears will have 4. Tim's Dallas Cowboys had 3. Texans was also 3. Eagles 3. Steelers 3. Niners 3. And then this was a team from back in the day. Boston Yanks 2. Let's see.
But before they folded the friend.
Packers, Jags, Vikings, Giants, Texans, Commanders. They each had 2. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want to read too far ahead because that ties into my next question. My bad.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, so now the opposite side of the spectrum. Which 3 teams have never had been first on the clock?
I think I know 2 of them.
One right after that. Go ahead.
So the Baltimore Ravens.
That's one. So yeah, Flynn and Tim work together to come up with the last 2.
Let's see, Seattle.
Yes, and go. Let Tim take a shot. You got 2 out of the 3, so let's see if Tim can get the other one.
Okay. The Ravens and the Seahawks.
Yep.
And I'm going to say the third one. I'm just going to take a wild guess. Arizona Cardinals.
It's not the Cardinals. Let me see how many the Cardinals have had.
The Cardinals have been in the league for over 100 years, Tim.
Oh,
the Cardinals are tied for second. They have 5.
Tied for second. So it's not the Cardinals. Never had. We had the Ravens, the Seahawks, and one other team that has not had a number 1 draft pick.
Let's see.
Houston Oilers.
The Oilers now / Titans.
No.
No,
that's a possibility, but I'm assuming Houston is connected to. I'm pretty sure the Texans and the Oilers have a connection.
No, Oilers and the Titans, because the Oilers moved to Tennessee in the mid '90s and became the Titans in '99.
No, it's not Houston. Houston has 3.
4. This is a very good one here. Very good one.
Yeah. We're still missing one more.
Let's see. Are we looking?
I'll give you guys a hint. It's towards the western mountain range. We're looking on the west side of the state, close to the west, kind of a mountainy area.
Not the Broncos.
It is the Broncos.
Oh wow!
The Broncos are the other team. I mean, they did make a trade to get John Elway, but that was after the fact, so that doesn't count.
Right.
That's right, because what was it that the Baltimore Colts drafted Elway, then they traded him
exactly,
to Denver, and then they moved out.
Yeah.
Then they moved.
That was after the draft, not during, so that doesn't count.
Yeah. Right.
So yeah, they're the 3. The Ravens, the Seahawks, and the Broncos have never been on the clock at number 1.
Okay.
The key word was on the clock.
Right.
Baltimore's highest pick was number 4, and then Seattle got number 2 twice.
And I think Denver picked Von Miller with number 2 one year. The year Cam Newton was drafted for number 1.
Mm-hmm. And then it says over here the Chargers made the number pick 1 time, but they didn't hang on to that player. And Flynn, we know who that is. The Chargers
Manning.
had 1. Yep.
But 20 years ago since that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
it's been that long.
And then the teams that only had it once were the Carolina Panthers, the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Saints, and the Jets.
So let's go through each of those teams. So Carolina picked Cam Newton in 2011. No, Carolina had it twice because they had Cam Newton in 2011. They had Bryce Young last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. This article was from 2023. So yeah, that's right. This was printed last year.
Before
I'm looking at an article from 2023.
Yeah, before the Panthers traded with the Bears and took Bryce Young over C.J. Stroud.
Got it.
So it was the other teams that have won.
The Jets. I think I know who that is already. And then the Saints. Wait, who? I'm not sure who that was. I'm trying to figure out who that could have been.
It said the Jets. Was that Keyshawn Johnson?
Yes, that's right, Keyshawn Johnson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it couldn't be Namath.
No, yeah, it was. Yeah, I believe he was the last. I believe he was the last wide receiver drafted at number 1 entirely.
Yeah, that it was ridiculous. I mean, yeah. I think that was when Parcells took over as the coach. But I said the other team. So the Raiders picked number 1 overall once.
Once, yes.
All right. I don't think it was Kenny Stabler.
Wait a minute, was that Woodson? Maybe wasn't Woodson? Was it Charles Woodson?
I don't remember.
No, I don't think it was Charles Woodson, because I think one year you had Peyton.
Wait a minute, let me see. Probably a quick Google search might help here. Raiders number 1 draft pick. Let me try that. Jamarcus Russell.
Jamarcus Russell, probably the worst draft pick of all time.
That didn't even survive year 3.
Mm-hmm.
See,
the Saints one, I'm not sure. I'm going to look up the Saints one, who that is.
The Saints, that had to be Archie Manning.
No, it was actually just last year. Brian Brees.
Brian Brees.
No.
The team's most recent first round. Oh, wait a minute.
No.
Hold on. Oops. Saints number 1 draft
overall.
Oh, whoops. Saints.
Yeah.
That's weird. I typed in number 1 draft pick. Let me try that again.
Number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
Let's try that. Number 1 overall draft pick. Let's try. It's still saying the same thing. Okay, let me try this. List of New Orleans Saints players.
So yeah, I just got it.
Okay, go ahead.
So it was 1981. The Saints had the first overall pick, and they selected George Rogers, a running back.
Okay, yeah, I see it now.
The Chargers 04 selected Eli. The Jets in 96 picked Keyshawn Johnson. The Miami Dolphins in 08, they drafted Jake. I believe they drafted Jake Long.
Okay.
And then 2013. And then 2013, the Chiefs picked Eric Fisher.
Ah, okay. I remember that name.
Yeah.
All
right. So what was Tim's question?
My question was, who was the first rookie quarterback to win an NFL playoff game?
First NFL rookie. Oh, so that's got to be like way back in the day. I'm just going to take a random shot in the dark here. I'm going to say Johnny Unitas.
I guess you could say it's kind of a little bit later, but not too much later than that.
So could it be Bart Starr of the Packers with Lombardi?
Good guess, but incorrect.
All right. So I think we both had our guesses.
Yeah.
Yep. That would be Pat Hayden with the Los Angeles Rams, 1976.
And they went to the NFC Championship game that year. They lost to Minnesota.
Yeah, that's right. It was the divisional round when it was a divisional round. The Rams beat the Cowboys by a score of 14-12. Then, of course, in the conference championship game, they lost to the Vikings 24-13.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I mean, so this question is with the anticipation that 3 quarterbacks are going to be going in the first 3 picks overall of this year's draft. There have been 3 times in NFL history where the quarterbacks went of the first 3 picks. So I want you to name the 3 quarterbacks who went 1, 2, 3 overall the last time that happened.
Ooh, yeah. I want to say that was just a couple years ago. I mean, I could rattle off one. I mean, I want to say Trevor Lawrence is on that list.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that would have been 2021, I want to say, right?
Yep. And who are the other 2?
2021. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, I want to try to go through the names and see if they're still playing right now. Let's see. I'm going to start here. Okay. It's definitely not nobody. No, I don't think it was Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen was later. I don't think it would be him. Jets. Okay. Yeah, I know the Jets. Oh, I know the Jets one. The Jets one is Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Yeah, it's oh, look, he's got some helmets right there.
This is your hint.
Colin Kaepernick.
No, Kaepernick was later. I don't think it was him. Kaepernick was earlier than that.
Yeah, Kaepernick was earlier.
No.
No.
It
can't be Brock Purdy. That was from a couple years ago.
No, it was not Brock Purdy. He was the final pick in that draft one year.
Hey, Tim, you're muted.
49ers. It was after Kaepernick. It was after Smith.
Oh wait, I think I got it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna let Tim work it out. I think I have it, but I'm gonna let Tim try to get it.
Oh my God, his name is right on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, I think I got it, but I'm gonna let Tim try to go through it. I don't want to hog all of them.
No, it wasn't Garoppolo. Garoppolo was taken in a trade, either a trade or picked up.
Garoppolo was earlier.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna kick myself when I hear this.
Oh, here's your clue, Tim. Tim, this is definitely you. You got to know this one. He played for you guys. He played briefly, very briefly, but he was there.
Oh. Oh my gosh. He played for the Cowboys. He was a first round pick for the Niners. Of course, Trey Lance.
There you go.
I thought Trey Lance was going to be the answer for San Francisco, but now he's what is he, the third string backup quarterback now for the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and Trey Lance. So, very, very interesting questions, I must say. Very interesting. Yeah, so very good work, guys. Go work on the questions. I commend you for those questions. Very thought-provoking, I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before we wrap things up for tonight, I've got a little bit of an announcement to make, and it involves you, the viewers out there. This is what happened. Let me give you a little rundown on what happened. A couple months back, I was coming up with some new logos that we could use for the new season of the show, and I presented 3 of them to our league members. One of them got only 1 vote, while the other 2 got 2 votes each. So what we need to do is think of the best way to determine what logo to use is to ask you, our viewers. What you can do is put your selections in the comment section below, which logo you would like to see. So, if I'm not mistaken, I gave Flynn those logos. So you'll take a look at this one here. Here is the first one. Well, actually, this is the second one.
So this is the second one in chronological. So the second one first.
So this is the second one that we decided on. That got 2 votes from the group, which I think looks pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first one of these 2, there's that one right there. So that's going to be logo number 1. And then the next one, the one that we just showed you earlier, this will be number 2. So what I'd like to have all you viewers to do is put it in the comment section below which logo you like better. We're going to leave it up to you to decide which logo we will be using for this upcoming football season. We will reveal the results of the logo winner right before, probably at the beginning of the first show of our 4-week series of the NFL division previews. So that should give y'all plenty of time to make your votes. And I'm going to be working on a new intro, which I will incorporate the chosen video or the chosen logo for the new intro that I'm going to be coming up with. So let your voices be heard. Make your votes. Got plenty of time. We'll update you from time to time. I guess our next show is going to be next Friday night. We're going to wrap up the NFL draft, see who was the big winners, who was the big losers, and
a couple of weeks from now, I think.
I guess 2 weeks from tonight, I guess. Because the draft is 1 week from tonight. That lasts 3 days, so.
Oh yeah. So that's 3 days. So it starts Thursday. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, May 3rd. Yeah, May 3rd will be our next show. We'll recap the draft, take a look at the winners
and losers, stuff like that,
and some interesting choices that were made by the teams, and we'll just go from there. So I know I'll be ready for next Thursday night, Detroit, Michigan, round 1. Thursday the 25th, I think 2 and 3 is the 26th, and 4 through 7 on the 27th, Saturday. So needless to say, this will be a very interesting NFL draft, to say the least, with all this stacked wide receivers expected to go in the first round.
Oh, yeah.
So as John Flynn says, he's working on his latest episode of Hooked on Sports with the NHL and NBA playoffs coming up.
And I think in the NBA, the last 2 teams have been decided because the New Orleans Pelicans found a way to get the 8th seed in the playoffs. They won without Zion Williamson. They beat Sacramento tonight. I'm stunned by that. And then the Miami Heat beat the Chicago Bulls, setting up a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals between the Heat and the Boston Celtics. So,
and they did that without Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, but I mean I don't think the Bulls. I don't know. I mean the Heat had a coaching advantage in that game, but I digress.
Mm-hmm.
All right. NHL playoffs. Yeah, my Stars have home ice advantage throughout the Western Conference. The Western Conference playoffs. However, if the Stars are Superman, then their first round opponents are the Kryptonite.
Ooh.
The Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Yeah. I think it is by far the most compelling of the 8 first-round playoff series, and it's so far. And this was the match between the two teams I had going to the conference finals at the when the season began back in October. So I think that's going to be a great series. I'm picking Dallas to win in 7.
I think I'll go the distance myself. I gotta go with my Stars. So.
Yep.
Well, anyway, be on the lookout for Hooked on Sports next Wednesday.
Yep.
Check wherever you find your podcast. Look up Hooked on Sports, and most likely you'll see it there. So we will reconvene back here 2 weeks from tonight, May 3rd. Our draft recap. Going to be interesting to see what happens there. Thanks for another great show, guys.
Oh, yeah. This was really fun.
Yeah. And, of course, thanks to all of you out there, because if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing this thing. It wouldn't be possible without you. So, for now, we will sign off for the evening until 2 weeks from tonight. For John Flynn, for John Natale. Thank you all. My name is Tim McClellan. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great week. Enjoy the draft. God bless you guys. As always, be a good sport. See ya.